Stop for a second and ask yourself this question honestly. Are you truly living, or are you just existing in the echo of what's already gone? Most people wake up every day carrying an invisible backpack filled with regrets, resentments, traumas, and even old joys that have turned into golden cages. They think they're alive, but in reality, they're just replaying the same mental movies day after day in an endless afternoon session that never ends. Here's the hard truth nobody tells you. As long as you're stuck in the past, the present will keep passing you by like a train you can never quite catch. You watch from the platform, always with the perfect excuse for why you can't get on board. Oh, but last time it went wrong. If I try again, I'll get hurt. I'm not the same person after what happened. And so day after day, you die a little bit more. Not physically, but inside, where it truly matters. But what if I told you there's a way out? That you don't have to carry this emotional baggage forever, that it's possible to let go, to forgive, to detach, and finally live with the lightness you deserve. In this video, I'm going to tell you a powerful story that will work like a mirror for your life. And by the end, you'll understand exactly what you need to do to stop dying in the past and start truly living in the present. Stick around until the end, because this life lesson might be exactly what you needed to hear. You know that feeling of carrying an invisible weight that nobody else can see? That's exactly what we do when we accumulate every memory, every experience, every moment as if they were precious stones we can't afford to lose. Just like a bird that finds small stones along the way and stores them in its pouch, we too keep filling our emotional baggage with everything we experience without realizing we're creating our own prison. The problem isn't in remembering, it's in carrying. Each stone represents a story. That betrayal we never forgot, that achievement that defines us, that pain that still hurts, that joy we want to relive. And we keep adding, until one day we realize we can barely take flight. The bird metaphor shows us something profound. We weren't made to live bent under the weight of the past. We were made to fly light toward the present. Here's something few people admit. Carrying the past is like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of bricks. You might manage a few steps, but with every meter traveled, the exhaustion grows and the urge to give up gets stronger. When we insist on dragging along every hurt, every regret, every what if, we're literally preventing our own freedom to live in the here and now with lightness and fullness. What's curious is that many people confuse this with wisdom. They think, if I forget, I'll repeat the same mistakes, or these memories make me who I am. But there's a huge difference between learning from the past and living imprisoned by it. It's like the difference between glancing in the rearview mirror to get a sense of the road and driving, while only looking backward. The emotional weight we carry doesn't protect us, it paralyzes us. And while we're stuck rummaging through old wounds or old glories, life is happening out there without our presence. There's a fine line between keeping a lesson and keeping a prison. True wisdom isn't about accumulating experiences like dusty trophies on a shelf, but about extracting the learning and letting the rest go. Think about it. When you learn to ride a bike, do you need to carry all the falls you took? Of course not. You absorb the balance, the technique, and keep pedaling. The same should apply to every situation we live through. Attachment, on the other hand, is this unhealthy desire to keep everything alive, fresh, as if it were going to happen again at any moment. It's mentally reliving that argument from years ago, rehearsing responses that will never be given, or staying stuck in a version of yourself that no longer exists. Transformation only happens when we understand that we can honor the past without living in it. Wisdom is knowing how to let go. Attachment is insisting on holding on. And the difference between the two determines whether you'll fly or crawl for the rest of your life. Sometimes, life puts someone in your path who asks the right question at the right time. It could be a friend, a therapist, a book, or simply that moment of silence where your own conscience nudges you. It's like the bird's encounter with the owl. Are you alive in the present, or are you just carrying the weight of yesterday? This question is uncomfortable because it exposes a truth we prefer to ignore. How many times do we wake up thinking about something that happened years ago? How many decisions do we fail to make out of fear of repeating old mistakes? Questioning is the first step toward personal growth. There's no point in continuing on autopilot, repeating patterns and blaming the past for everything that's not working today. The owl represents that inner voice that challenges us to look inside with honesty. Are these memories guiding me or dragging me down? Am I learning or just ruminating? Mindfulness begins right there, in the courageous act of stopping, observing, and questioning what truly deserves space in our mind and heart. There comes a time when the body demands payment. You can pretend everything's fine, that you can handle it all alone. But emotional baggage has its own way of manifesting. It starts with the anxiety that won't let you sleep, moves on to constant irritation, and can escalate to real physical problems: back pain, migraines, chronic fatigue. It's the body literally bent under the emotional weight we insist on carrying. And the worst part? Many people don't even see the connection between today's suffering and yesterday's hurts. The bird metaphor, falling under the weight of the stones, isn't an exaggeration. It's a warning. There are people who literally stop living because they're too busy reliving. Relationships that never start out of fear of repeating old traumas. Dreams that stay shelved because last time it didn't work out. Missed opportunities because the mind is so full of the past that there's no room for the new. Excess baggage doesn't kill you all at once. It consumes you gradually, stealing your lightness, your spontaneity, your ability to renew yourself, until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize who's staring back. Forgiveness isn't about the other person, it's about yourself. It's about refusing to keep carrying a poison that's only poisoning you. When you forgive, you're not saying what happened was right or acceptable. You're simply saying, I'm not going to let this control my life anymore. It's a life lesson that few learn early, but it makes all the difference. Letting go of resentment, anger, hurt is like taking a backpack full of lead off your shoulders. Suddenly you breathe deeper, walk lighter, smile more easily. And it's not just about forgiving others, it's about forgiving yourself too. How many times do you punish yourself for past mistakes? How many chances to start over do you waste because you think you don't deserve them? Detachment begins when we understand that we are beings in constant transformation and that the version of you who made that mistake no longer exists. Letting go is an act of courage, not weakness. It's choosing freedom over the familiarity of suffering. And believe me, the more you practice this art of releasing, the lighter life becomes. The present is the only place where life truly happens. It seems obvious, but how many times are you physically in one place and mentally in another? Having dinner with family but thinking about that argument from last week. Working on a project but worried about what could go wrong in the future. Living in the here and now isn't a mystical or complicated concept. It's simply being where you are. It's tasting your food, truly hearing what the person is saying, feeling the breeze on your skin. It's in these small moments that we find true lightness. Mindfulness teaches us that each breath is a chance to begin again. You don't need to carry into this moment anything that happened 5 minutes ago, let alone 5 years ago. The past is gone. The future doesn't exist yet. All you have that's real is this exact second. And when you learn to fully inhabit the present, something magical happens. Problems seem smaller, solutions become clearer, and you finally understand what it means to be truly alive. It's not about forgetting the past existed. It's about not letting it hijack your today. True freedom doesn't come from conquering more, but from releasing what binds you. When you finally allow yourself to detach from the memories that hurt you, the expectations that frustrate you, the patterns that limit you, something extraordinary happens. You discover a lightness you didn't even know existed. It's as if an invisible weight you'd been carrying for so long finally dropped, and suddenly you can breathe deeply, laugh without guilt, dream without fear. Detachment isn't indifference. It's wisdom in action. And here's the secret that changes everything. The more you release, the more space you create for new things to enter. New experiences, new relationships, new versions of yourself. Renewal only happens when you empty your hands of what no longer serves you. Think of it like a tree that needs to shed its old leaves so new ones can sprout. You are not your memories. You are not your past. You are the infinite possibility of reinventing yourself every single day. And this transformation begins the moment you decide to fly without the weight of the stones. The lightness was always available. You just needed the courage to let go. So now, after everything you've seen here, answer me honestly. How many stones are you still carrying? How many memories, how many hurts, how many what-ifs are weighing on your back right this moment? The bird's story isn't just a pretty metaphor. It's a warning about what happens when we insist on carrying everything alone. Did you realize that freedom has always been available? That the lightness you've been searching for doesn't come from outside, but from your courage to release what no longer serves? Now I want you to do something for yourself. Grab a piece of paper and write down one thing from the past you're ready to let go of. It could be a resentment, a regret, an old version of yourself that no longer exists. Write it down and symbolically tear up that paper. It's a simple gesture, but powerful. It's you telling the universe, I choose to live in the present. I choose transformation. I choose to be free. Because at the end of the day, nobody can do this for you. Detachment is a personal decision, a daily act of renewal and personal growth. If this message touched your heart in some way, if you felt this was exactly what you needed to hear today, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who's also stuck in the past. And if you want to keep receiving content that will help you live with more wisdom, more lightness, and more purpose, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because every week I bring stories, life lessons, and reflections that can transform how you see the world. The question that remains is, will you keep carrying, or will you finally start flying? The choice has always been yours.